The Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs will look to come out strong in the 2018 season. The Dogs may have finished just 16-34 last season, but they would win 3 of their last 5 conference contests to earn their way into the Big South Conference Tournament. Head coach Tom Cole says the Dogs will look to get hot early this year despite a very tough schedule.
Well, the biggest thing is that the returning players, they all did what they were supposed to do through the offseason and work hard and get better. We brought in a great recruiting class, and they're definitely going to have an impact into this program.
The Running Bulldogs returned 2 pitchers to the mound this year in Sam Harrell and Ashley Wark. Wark, a senior out of Bristow, Virginia, pitched 5 complete games last season and led the team in wins and saves last year. Wark said she's very excited for her senior season.
Definitely super excited to start senior season. I'm going to be really sad for softball to be over, but I'm excited to go out with all the new teammates we have and just make it the best season yet.
Offensively, the Running Bulldogs will bring back junior Kaylee Waycaster, who is second on the team in RBIs and runs. Junior Callie Fortin also returns, as Fortin led the Running Bulldogs in home runs and started all 50 regular season games. Also returning for her senior season is graduate student Rachel Comiskey. Comiskey finished with 9 doubles last season and was second on the team with 158 putouts. While Comiskey has finished her undergraduate degree, she is still excited for one more season of softball.
I'm really excited. It's definitely bittersweet. I'm ready to get out in the real world, but I'm definitely going to miss playing here and with all my friends. So, doing a lot of game-like situations. We have 11 freshmen, so we're definitely really new. So we've been doing a lot of scrimmages, trying to get them ready to play.
The Running Bulldogs schedule will be a daunting task this season, but most of the games will be played inside the friendly confines of Brinkley Stadium. The Dogs will start off on February 8th at 2 p.m. with a doubleheader against rival USC Upstate. The Running Bulldogs will host 2 straight tournaments, the first being held February 9th through 10th, as Gardner-Webb will face Youngstown State twice, Western Kentucky, and then Hampton in the Gardner-Webb University Tournament presented by American. On February 16th through 18th, Gardner-Webb will host the Running Bulldog Softball Tournament presented by American. The Dogs will face Western Illinois on Friday, Creighton and Eastern Illinois on Saturday, and then will conclude the tournament with a doubleheader against Western Carolina on Sunday. The Running Bulldogs will then take a quick day trip to North Carolina A&T to take on the Aggies in a doubleheader. Gardner-Webb will then travel to Athens, Georgia for the University of Georgia Softball Tournament on February 23rd through 25th. The Running Bulldogs will play East Tennessee State twice, the College of Charleston on Saturday night, and then will conclude on Sunday afternoon against host Georgia. Gardner-Webb then returns home for a midweek doubleheader against South Carolina State. Last season, the Running Bulldogs swept the Dogs in Orangeburg. Gardner-Webb will then host their final tournament of the season on March 2nd through 4th with the Red and Black Softball Tournament. Gardner-Webb will face Marist College 3 times, once every day during the tournament, and North Carolina Central twice, once on Friday, once on Saturday. Gardner-Webb will then face UNC Wilmington in a midweek doubleheader game. The Seahawks finished 35-20-1 before falling to Hofstra in the Colonial Athletic Association Championship game. On March 7th, Gardner-Webb will face its biggest home test of the season as they will take on ACC member North Carolina State. While the Wolfpack finished just 18-38 last season, this will be a tough test for the Running Bulldogs. This is the second straight year Gardner-Webb is hosting the ACC opponent at home, as Gardner-Webb hosted Syracuse last season over spring break. Speaking of spring break, there's no break for the Running Bulldogs, as they'll have 8 home contests over spring break, including the first conference series of the year against Campbell. They'll then have another doubleheader against North Carolina Central during the week, and they'll finish off the week with a rivalry series against Presbyterian College. March 21st is the start of a long road trip for the Dogs. They'll travel to Greenville, South Carolina, to take on SoCon rival Furman in a doubleheader. Last season, the Paladins came up to Bowling Springs and swept the Running Bulldogs. The Dogs will then head to Virginia for 2 straight weekends for series against tournament host Radford, and then another series against rival Liberty. The Dogs will come home for a quick stop on April 7th through 8th for a series against rival Charleston Southern, then take a short road trip next weekend to face Winthrop. On April 18th, the Running Bulldogs will welcome UNC Charlotte to town for a doubleheader. On April 25th, Gardner-Webb has their final midweek game of the season, a trip to Boone to take on the Appalachian State Mountaineers. The regular season will conclude on April 28th and 29th as Gardner-Webb will host the defending Big South champion Longwood. And the Big South Conference Tournament this year will be held May 9th through the 12th at Radford University. With so many home games and tournaments, players are urging fans to come out this season to see some amazing softball action.
Having the home field advantage in this great facility, it really makes us feel at home, and I think gives us a little edge. And having all of our fans that support us each and every game are really going to help put us over the top.
With all these home games, with such a tough schedule, with so many tournaments, and with the Running Bulldogs being tabbed 8th in the Big South Conference preseason poll, that's been able to put a fire under the Running Bulldogs, and they'll look to come out strong this season.
Everybody's up their game. The new players coming in have challenged returning players, and they've risen to the challenge, and they've upped their game. So we're excited. We didn't expect anything different than to be 8th, and we got something to prove. prepared to do.
We definitely feel like we're playing with the chip on our shoulder, like we've got something to prove. We're practicing like it every day, and we're not going to be at the end of the season. So.